In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Junk Teens pricing sheet, showing you guys all the secrets that we have with pricing. We're going to be doing live pricing on site, walking you through what the whole process looks like. And on top of that, I'm just kind of going over some of the general overview topics that go into the whole map out of pricing. So let's get this junk.
Yeah.
Jake, when we get there, what are some of the factors that we need to do in our pricing in order to stay profitable and price accurately?
You guys want to basically just note that there are a lot of different factors that go into the pricing. Like, for example, the size of the job is obviously the biggest, how much material you're taking away. Then on top of that, what is the type of material you're removing? Because the difference of dumping, a household trash bag versus a mattress in terms of the literal material that it is much different on the dump fee side of things. Same thing with rocks versus a stuffed animal. One of them weighs 100 times more than the other one. So you want to figure out the volume, factor in the material that you're taking out. You want to also figure out the access. If everything's in the driveway, that's a hell of a lot easier than getting a full truckload of from someone's attic or their backyard, their basement, etc. Never mind like a full house clean out, whatever. Obviously the access needs to be good.
Me and Jake just got to the job. We're gonna go price it out and give you the notes. Let's get it.
These two pieces,
Okay.
and then there's stuff down. You get that thing there, and then there's some stuff downstairs.
You said everything in here is going?
Yeah.
Okay. Jake, everything in this room too?
Yeah.
Just these two things here.
Okay. Oh yeah, that sounds great. We'll walk around, just kind of add it up real quick.
Sure.
And then we can just reach in the front and let you know where it would be, and then get started if that works.
Yep, absolutely.
Alright guys, so basically what I did is I took photos of the whole house, and then Jacob and I looked at these photos and broke down each room as its own price. For a big job like this, you want to add up pretty much every room at the end to get your total price. And that's what we did. We're going to walk you through exactly how we did that and how we got our final price, including all the factors like the mattresses that are also in here. So Jake, what was the total of all of the rooms?
Total would be $13.25.
Jake's gonna show you this room and then break down each item and why it's priced the way it is and how we get to that final number for that room.
Alright guys, so here's a quick breakdown on this room right here. In our notes, we had it at around $400, and basically what that looks like is there's a dresser, a chest, a nightstand, mattress, box spring, bed frame, and some other little thing here. And so basically on average, a dresser is going to be around $70 to $100. Mattress and box spring are going to be around $100 each. The little chest and the extra thing added on an extra 100, and then that other little thing, whatever, equals around 400. And the reason why we price that is because the cubic yards probably going to take around 8 in the truck, average of $50 a cubic yard. That's 400, so that checks as well.
So what is that, like a quarter of the truckload or an eighth?
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't break up any of this stuff, it would be around like probably a fifth to a quarter.
So when roughly calculating cubic volume, you just want to think how much room is this going to take up in the truck. You know what your full truckload price is, and then that's a really good reference for pricing that individual room. We're going to go give this price to the customer, and then hopefully if he says yes and everything, we'll get started with the job. Yeah, so we added up all the rooms and everything and just how much it'll take up in the truck. So it'll be $13.25 for everything, and then we can just start taking it out right now. And yeah, $13.25, and then because it's gonna take up probably about like 3/4 to half of the truck, but yeah, we'll be able to take it all out right now. If you want, just load it right up.
Let me just make a quick call.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to double check.
Okay.
We're good. Yeah.
Good to go. All right, sounds good.
Do you guys need payment now, or how do you do it?
Yeah. Do you have a check?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't know how my wife is a real estate agent. She handles most of this stuff.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
She's like, yeah, that's actually a good price. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you. You said that the reason why they thought it was a good price is because you spoke well with the customer before the job. What do you mean by that?
Sure. Basically, you want to always build rapport with every client. We probably talked to this client like 3 to 4 different times before we actually showed up to the property. And yesterday I called them just to confirm that we were going to be here at a certain time. But I talked to him for probably like 2 to 3 extra minutes just about random stuff. You want to talk to these people like they're your friends. And that's ultimately how you're going to build a good relationship to be able to seal the job, like more so likely. It doesn't even matter what the price is. It just matters that the customer likes you. They want to work with you as a person, and therefore they're just going to pay whatever you end up quoting them. All right, guys, so something else that's really big on a job is the upsell factor. And for example, something like this clothing line. You know, once this guy comes back, he's out grabbing the check right now. Once he comes back, we're gonna come to the backyard. We're gonna be like, hey, do you want us to take out the clothing line? We can do that. That might be another couple $100. The shed, I mean, if we ended up doing that, that could be an extra 1,000, extra 1,200, 1,500, whatever it is. We'd have to look at it a little closer, but all these things are just stuff you want to look for to ultimately try to get more for your time, more for your effort while you're at the actual job site.
Me and Jake are gonna walk through the house and Jake's gonna show you each room and break it down by the price. Let's go.
All right, guys, this futon, we priced at $75. Next, these two pieces of furniture, not the appliances, 100 total. In here, small little recliner, 50 bucks. For everything in here, given that we got to deal with the mattress and box spring, this is gonna be 400 total. Right in here, not a ton of stuff, but this fish tank is gross. Everything in here, 200. And here, just these two pieces of furniture, this is gonna be 100 total. We already showed you guys the basement, but all of that added up is around 350, plus the recliner outside, 400 total for all the stuff that you didn't just see now. And that's $13.25. All right, guys, so there's a few things that go into how we actually get the price for all of this. Number one, the biggest, is the volume. There's a lot of stuff, around 3/4 of a truckload, so that's going to be the biggest factor contributing to the $13.25 price. The second thing are the materials. You know, this thing, it's gross. There's stuff like a couple mattresses, box spring, TV, dehumidifier, all of those things we have to separate when we get to our warehouse and we get surcharged for. Finally, it's just the weight of the stuff. There's a lot of heavy wood, a lot of stuff like this. This fish tank is probably 100 pounds or two, and all of that stuff is weight. Average dump fees in Massachusetts are around 200, 250 bucks a ton that we have to pay. This is probably at least a few tons with everything here. And so that's another thing that contributes to the price. All right, and finally, I'll show you the access of everything. So you have a lot of stuff tucked away in these back rooms. Another bedroom here. Futon tucked away down there. And we have to bring it all out the front door, which isn't awful, but obviously it's a lot more work than if it was already in the driveway. So this is a pretty average access point for how this job looks like. So it doesn't add a ton like surcharge wise to the job. It's just pretty average, pretty regular. So all things you want to keep in mind is really at the end of the day, if you feel stuck, just look at the cubic yard pricing and understand that, you know, around 3/4 of the truckload is probably around 25 cubic yards. So that's how you get the $13.25.
You want to just bring it over? Do you want to open up the gate?
Sure, good idea. Part of the basement, we quoted this table for around $50 to $60. I'm gonna show you just how easy it is to make 50 bucks. It's 11:06. Within 2 minutes, I'll have an extra 50 bucks in my pocket. All right, it's 11:08, job done.
Plus $10 brass pipe.
There we go.
Thank you.
All
Perfect.
right, appreciate it.
We finished up this job and now we're headed to a smaller one so we can show you more where the minimums come into play, pricing out a smaller job. Let's get into some new pricing. Let's get it. It is $12.25.
Hey there, how are you?
Some random stuff.
Okay.
We got some large cardboard boxes. I was going to bring up a couple more of those. It's partially apart. There's also...
All right, so if that's everything, we can go look at it all and tally it up and let you know. And then if it's good, we'll just grab it. 100. That's 300.
More boxes. It should be like
40. 40. Wait, how long are these? If they go all the way back, then 340 is probably better. Always got to check to see if it's filled with water. Let's tell them.
So basically, everything would come up to $345 for just all the stuff you showed us.
Okay.
Yeah, 345, and we'll just start loading everything up, and then
Okay, cool.
yeah. Do you want to pay check?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
We just secured the job for $345. We're gonna break down the price after we just kind of get everything out to the front to show you guys.
Maybe me.
Oh, you guys have to, like,
No.
I also saw a couple posts in the Facebook group this spring on the Dedham Connection page. So
Oh yeah.
No worries. Thank you. Alright guys, so we're on our way to the last job. Just an easy 3 jobs today. But to recap how we just priced the job we were at, we got the job for $365, and what went into it is there was a big plastic playhouse, a bit of wood, and a bicycle. So pretty simple. However, the wood was very dense, heavy. It's stuff that's been sitting there for probably a few years, and so it's very waterlogged. And I mean, it just simply costs a lot for us to dump, so we have to charge more on that. In the playhouse, it was light, but it's rigid, it's bulky plastic, so you can't crush it, you can't condense it, so it takes up a lot of room. And we also had to take it apart. So all in all, that's kind of how we came up with the price, $365. And we split it up, as in the playhouse being around like 200, just because it was pretty big, and then the wood being around like 140. So that's how we got 340 plus 20 for the bike, so around 365 there. And the customers were happy. They said they'd leave us a review. And yeah, now we're off to go pick up a sectional couch. Good way to price your couches as well, just a heads up, is try to aim for like $50 a cushion. That's kind of what we always do. So a sectional is probably around 5 to 6 cushions, so around 250, 300. But if it's a sleeper sofa, you probably want to add another 50, and depending on the access as well, like obviously if it's already outside, maybe just slim it down to like 200, and if it's in the basement and you gotta cut it up or whatever, add another 100, whatever. I mean, all of this stuff is just kind of conditional based off the factors. But yeah, that's what we're off to now. Let's get this junk.
Hey guys, so this is the Junk Teens pricing sheet. I'm gonna insert some of the pages here on the screen, and I'm gonna just walk you through how this is all mapped out. Literally, like any of the guys who go in our trucks and end up being truck captains and do pricing, everything that they would need to know for pricing is in here. So starting off with cubic volume pricing, this is where you're gonna calculate basically how much per truckload on average should you be charging. You can do some simple math, call up 1-800-GOT-JUNK or some competitors in your area, figure out the size of their truck and figure out how much they charge per truckload. Just do the math, divide it, how much is it per cubic yard, and then that's kind of the industry standard in your area. See, our trucks minimum, and this is for us to be profitable and where we want to be with the company, is $990, $1,320, and $1,540. This is us undercutting the industry standard in our area. And then obviously here's just a list of different items and what we price them for. You can just have numbers like this in the back of your head and look at it like, okay, there's 2 mattresses, $200, dresser, bureau, that's another 200, and kind of just understand baseline pricing per item. That's another way to kind of help yourself walk through pricing per section or area. And then obviously for like hazardous materials, you need a separate license to take those, so you can't really price those. It's always good to have like a binder or your notes or even your phone or something out while you're pricing a job, because that just gives the customer confidence that you are actually making these calculations and that it's not just a made-up number. Now, some of the factors that go into pricing a job that are beyond just the items or what we've already talked about are the locations on site. How far is it from your truck? Are you gonna have to go upstairs? Is it in the attic? Is it in a difficult place? You want to charge more because that's going to take you more time. The material weight, is it heavy? Is it light? Charge more or less depending on that. Also, with really big jobs, sometimes it's more convenient to just do a massive job than do a bunch of small ones, so you can even lower your overall pricing on big jobs to try to seal those deals, because those are actually some of the best jobs, the big ones. And then obviously odd items with recycling fees and surcharges at the dump, you want to charge more for your customers for those. And then make sure when you're pricing out like furniture that you're calculating if the drawers are full of stuff or if they're empty. There's a lot more secrets that go into pricing, but we're gonna save a lot of these for another video where we go in depth on specific types of pricing. But comment down below what kind of pricing information you guys still want to know. And Jacob's gonna go over some more information here from his notes.
Yeah, so I want us to note a couple things. The biggest is just like, how do you price? There's the industry standard, which is charging by the truckload. And that's why the industry standard is a 15 cubic yard truck. And for the guys that are already in this or have a lot of money to roll in with junk removal, a lot of investment, it might be easier to go by that industry standard smaller trucks. We don't do that. We have much bigger trucks because we found a little different way to kind of
Less
work around
trips
it.
to the dump. Like when we're in school, like you don't have time after school to go dump the truck. There's a lot of reasons.
But the biggest like franchisable kind of like nationwide, again, industry standard is that smaller truck, like a little less per truckload that you can fit, a little less you can charge, but it's a smaller truck, so it's easier to drive, easier to get to job. It's easier for new people to learn. It's easier to load as well. So yeah, just those kind of things to note. And two ways you can price ultimately are charging by the truckload or charging based off the job as a whole. What we used to do is actually we just charge by the job, and I would say it wasn't necessarily a mistake, but it was definitely a learning experience. I would stress, if any of you guys are just having, you know, your customers send you pictures and then you giving a price, it's just really not the best way you want to do at all. We did that for 3.5 years. And then as soon as we changed that, we started making so much more money. Our lead conversion rate went up so much higher. And ultimately it was just a much smarter decision at scale for us to stop quoting and pricing based off pictures and do it, you know, like in person and whatnot. So ultimately, in order to succeed, in order to scale, you need to stick to one thing and make sure it's the best that you can do in your market.
All right, it's 2 p.m. and we just got to this job.
Not that we're gonna do it. This customer's probably hired us like 5 or 6 times now. So even though the couch should be $275, we could tell him $450 and he'd pay it. So the bigger reputation, the more friendly you can get with these people, they'll literally pay you whatever you want.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey guys, come on in. It's 2 pieces. They're both pretty light.
Okay, and this is it?
This is it.
Perfect. So yeah, this will be $190 and we'll take it right out of here.
Okay.
That's good.
Go ahead. I'll write the check. Here you go.
Thank you. Yes, only because I think he's got 190.
All right, so if you look at these, this is like pretty much 2 cushions. Draw a line here, 1, 2, 1, 2, boom. That's like 50, 200. I knocked like $10 off because even numbers are not good. You don't ever want to price on an even number because it feels like it's more. 190, give them a deal, boom.
Sometimes when you get nicer stuff, you can either donate it, which is dumping it for free, sell it, or I mean, we got a warehouse, so we're probably just gonna keep this for ourselves. But yeah, I mean, not everything costs money to dump, not everything you need to throw away. So that's just another perk of, you know, removing nicer stuff. All right guys, we just wrapped up for the day. I think total for today was like 1700, which is pretty chill. But the other truck, we have 2 trucks out today, it's a Sunday. And the other truck's already at like 37, 4 grand. So like total we might pull in like 6,000 today just with 2 trucks, which is great. Especially for a Sunday when all the dumps are closed. Ultimately, that's how the day went. And realistically, you know, with Junk Teens, with the YouTube channel, we want to try to give away as much like good knowledge as we can, because I mean, it took us years and years to be able to figure out the stuff that we have now. We're 4.5 years deep on this. Whether we go and price more jobs, a higher ticket, lower ticket, you know, maybe demo, rock removal, whatever. Literally anything you guys can think of, just let us know and we'll start making videos. We want to do a couple videos a week, hopefully. So I mean, again, like drop those comments down, whatever things are being mentioned the most, we'll just get to it and start making videos about that.
Cool. Oh, it's the other Junk Teens truck right there. If you're trying to tap into our inner circle, click the link in the description here, and we'll get you on a call and see if you're a good fit. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to comment, subscribe, and like, and let's get this junk!